Hello. I am back to talk more Deadpool and Wolverine, but this time a little more Wolverine than Deadpool. So I actually wrote this idea into my first draft of my Deadpool rewrite video, but it just didn't flow quite so well with the rest of the video, so I cut it. But there was still one more spot in Deadpool and Wolverine where I just don't think the movie hit as hard as it could have, and that's what I want to talk about in this video. And once again, full spoiler warning going ahead.
Gamey Cookie Guy Entertainment.
The moment here is focused a bit more on Wolverine, and what I want to change for Logan is specifically that scene by the campfire where he's confessing his past to Daphne Keene's X-23. Now, this was the tragic reveal that we have waited the whole movie for. As Deadpool says, this was the third act flashback. So I don't know about you, but there was a lot of pressure on this moment, and for me, it just didn't quite deliver. I just found the explanation to be really lacking. Like, what we are given in this movie and what we are supposed to believe is that somehow all of the X-Men were killed while Logan was out at a bar. Like, okay, maybe, but how even does that make him the bad guy? How does that make him the worst Wolverine in the entire multiverse? Like, you're telling me there's no other Wolverines that like went out to bars when they should have been doing superhero work? Like, what if he was just out to get like milk for his like super strong bones or whatever, and everyone died while he was out picking up groceries? Like, would he still be the worst Wolverine? Because the end result would be the same. The X-Men would still be dead. And for me, the real shame of getting this explanation that we were given in the movie in this moment is that later on, when Wolverine is getting his mind fondled by Cassandra Nova, she's giving us a way more compelling case for him being the worst Wolverine. So in that scene, she implies that it was actually his anger that inadvertently or directly led to the extinction of the X-Men. And that is so much better, but it is too late. The reveal is so much less impactful at this point of the movie than it would have been if Wolverine had chosen to admit it by himself by the fire. So that's what I wanted to do with my rewrite of this particular moment. I want to flesh out the backstory of Wolverine's failure, and I want to specifically move it up to the campfire scene and maybe change one other small thing. Now, before I say the first change I want to make, dear viewer, I want you to know that I am a fan of Daphne Keene in this movie, but I thought her character was just kind of wasted. So her main reason for being in this story is to give Wolverine that hero's call to action, that moment by the fire to encourage him to be the hero that she knows he can be. But my problem with this is Logan doesn't actually know who this is. Like, yes, it does still work because she can remind him to be like a better version of himself, but I think this moment might work just a little bit better if we gave Wolverine and the audience a bit more of a familiar face. That face being one of Henry Cavill. Nope, strike that, Freudian slip. James Marsden. That being James Marsden as Cyclops. Specifically, I think it might be cool to do that one Cyclops from the comics who's gone blind, or maybe just have a Cyclops that's like lost access to ruby quartz, and so he has to keep his eyes shut all the time. Regardless, this is a face that Logan knows all too well. It is a face he has seen in all of his nightmares. This is the leader that he failed in his timeline, and it's going to be this guilt over seeing this haunting vision from his past that motivates him to share with Scott what has happened in his world and to seek some kind of absolution. Plus, in a movie that's kind of like a love letter to all the Fox Marvel movies, I like the idea of bringing back somebody who was a big part of those but never really got a chance to shine. And so, as Logan is telling Scott his story, we learn that on this Wolverine's world, the X-Men had actually kind of earned like a tenuous trust with humanity, one they fought hard to earn through the sacrifice of Charles Xavier and Magneto. And this was represented in a way by the colorful uniforms that they all chose to wear as these public-facing figures, costumes that Logan just crapped on all the time as just looking like an absolute joke. But the truth, deep down, was Logan missed the conflict. He missed the fighting. He missed being resented by the public. He felt like he had no purpose, so he drank and he got into a bar fight. And that bar fight escalated into a bigger bar fight, which escalated into an all-out brawl, which escalated, and never stopped until he had turned humanity against the X-Men, and one by one mutants were exterminated. The sick irony of that, of course, being that Wolverine is the one who started the fight and the one that humanity wanted to punish, but he's the only one they couldn't kill. Now he doesn't take off that stupid, silly-looking costume as a reminder of what he did. Now, is this explanation perfect? No, I think there's still, like, plenty of holes from it. Like, how did one fight turn into all of the mutants being exterminated? But is it more plausible than all of the X-Men died while Wolverine was on a beer run? I'd like to think so. And more importantly, it drives at something that Wolverine should have immense guilt over, and something that Cassandra can try and use to manipulate him later on. And so by the fire, he tells all of this to Scott, and he doesn't forgive him because he can't really give him what he's looking for. He wasn't there. His relationship with his Logan was a whole other situation, but he does tell them that if his Cyclops gave him that suit, he knew he could be worthy of it. So he should be the hero that his Cyclops knew he could be. And so that's my change by the fire. I want to give that moment some more punch, some more really personal stakes for that Wolverine, and I want to throw in Cyclops. And while we have Cyclops, skipping ahead to the fight in the Ant-Man base a bit, I want to do at least one of those moments where, like, he shoots an optic blast and it, like, bounces off of Deadpool's swords, and then it reflects off of Wolverine's claws, and then, like, obliterates Juggernaut's juggernauts or something like that. Wouldn't that be nice? You couldn't do that with X-23, nor should you want to. But that's it. I know it's a bit of a shorter video, but after I made my last one on Deadpool, I knew I just couldn't cut out this moment for Wolverine. Let me know if you would have kept X-23 in or used an entirely different character in that situation, and subscribe for more videos. See you then, bub.